Hello Stampers, this is Jeannie Moss, the Bluegrass Stamper. I'm here in Kentucky, the Bluegrass State. Today we are going to make this cute little seagull card. This is Friendly Seagulls. This is from Celebration 2025. It says, "Hey friend, I love you more than French fries." So it's a very cute little card. We are going to use only one color, well, two colors of ink. We're going to use this Country Woods DSP. I'm going to flip through this very quickly so you can see what it looks like. It's a lot of wood grains. You've probably seen it on a lot of projects. It's great because it's very neutral. It can go with so many different things, and this is the piece we are going to use. Now, a lot of times my color scheme is based on the colors in the DSP, and that's what I'm doing today, because this DSP, Designer Series paper, has Misty Moonlight and Smoky Slate. So those are the colors that I used, and then I threw in some red, real red, for an accent. We'll also be using some blends. I've got my Daffodil Delight blends. I've got the Real Red Light. Oh wait, that's the dark, the Real Red Dark. I've got the Light Wild Wheat, Light Misty Moonlight, and Light Smoky Slate. We'll be using those. We will be using the Memento pad. This is what you need to use when you use the blends because they are alcohol markers. So you need to use an ink pad that works well with the alcohol. And we'll be using Smoky Slate. So those are the colors. You'll need a piece of Misty Moonlight. This is 5.5 by 8.5. This is going to be our card base. So I'm going to put it in my score with the long side at the top, and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4, which is half. And then I'm going to burnish that with my bone folder. See how it stands up? If I burnish it, it'll give it a nice crease and it'll lay much flatter. And then we will work on the inside of the card. You'll need a piece of basic white. This is 4 by 5 1/4. So it will fit inside with a 1/8 inch border all the way around. On the inside, we are going to stamp some of the seagulls. So that's from the Friendly Seagulls stamp set. This is a Celebration item. It's free with a $60 order in the US. I'm not sure about the other countries. Check with your demonstrator. But it has two options. So for us here in the US, I love you more than French fries. And for those across the pond who call them chips, I love you more than chips. There's also fish, seagulls that we won't be or seashells that we won't be using, but we will be using the rocks, all three of the birds, this bird, hey friends, everything I think except the seashells, the fish, and the chips for this card. So I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper because I want to stamp off my cardstock just a little bit on this. And this is again with the Memento. I've got the seagulls. I'm going to stamp some of those over here on the side. And like I said, I'm stamping off just a little bit. Then I'll put a few more up here. So there are those. I love you more than French fries. Now I have put both of these stamps on one block so that we can stamp them both at the same time. And that way we don't have to worry about getting them lined up because they are already lined up. And then last, we're going to put a little box of French fries down here in the corner. We are going to color those French fries. And I've got my Real Red. That's going to be the little French fry box. My wild wheat is going to be the little burger. I think it's a fish sandwich on that box. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? And then my light, Daffodil Delight, is going to be the color for the French fries. So there is the inside of our card. This is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches for the inside of that card. So our inside is now finished, and we're ready to work on the outside. So we are going to be working on a piece of white, basic white, that I have taken and I've cut using the perennial postage dies. Now this is the second from the largest. So the second one down, and I've cut that panel out, and we are going to stamp on it. We are also going to stamp on a scrap of white. So we're going to be doing 2 sets of stamping. Actually, I'm going to bring my paper back in because I'll be stamping off of this. Now, as you can see, do you see all the little holes? This is an old dot matrix printer. My sister-in-law worked at Fort Knox, and they got rid of their dot matrix printers, and they had all this paper to get rid of. I said, I'll take some if they're just getting rid of it. And so I inherited a box full of this. All right, we have 3 of our seagulls that we are going to stamp. We're going to stamp the first one over here on the right-hand side. We're also going to stamp him on this piece. And on this piece, we do not care about his feet. We do not need his feet. So there's one. Okay. Here's our other bird. And again, he gets stamped up here. And once again, we do not need his feet. And our last one. Aren't they cute? Especially this one with the little French fries in his mouth. Just adorable. And again, not worried about the feet. I'll put him up a little bit. It's probably good. And then one more thing that I need on that scrap is another French fry box. So just going to put this up here wherever I have room for it. So now we have 3 birds minus feet and a French fry box. We'll put that to the side, and we'll go back to working on this piece. While we've got this black out, I'm going to use the Hey Friend stamp, and I've taken my red layer. This is the one that's going to go behind this, and I have cut out this little die from Stylish Shapes. Stylish Shapes is my go-to set of dies. It has circles, nested circles, so there's maybe 6, let's see, 1, 2, 3, maybe 6 different circles. There's, I think, 5 different squares, and then there are 4 banners. So I'm taking that smallest banner, and I've cut it out of this because we're covering that up, so we don't need it. We're going to bring this little banner in, and I'm going to stamp Hey Friend on it. I've got to get up here where I can see it. Hopefully I'll hit it. Hey Friend. Okay, that's good enough. All right, I'm finished, I think, with my memento. If not, we will bring it back out. Now we're going to switch to that gray. This is Smoky Slate. And we are going to stamp some rocks down around the feet of the seagulls. And then just so that this doesn't look quite so stark, I'm going to take my water painter, and that's this brush, and it fills up with regular tap water. So it has water. See the little push on the side? So that's what you do when you want to get some of the water. You'll push on the side, and that'll let it release some of the water through the little gasket that's inside. I don't want a lot, but I want a little bit. Oops. And if you take your ink pads and you squish them really hard, and sometimes it really takes some muscles, which I don't seem to have anymore, and you open it, you'll get this little puddle of ink in the lid. And you can pick that up with your water painter. And we are just going to make this look a little bit more like the ground. So we're going over those rocks, and we are just adding a little bit more dimension to that, make it look a little bit more like the ground. So there we go. So now we have that, and then to clean this water brush, you'll just push on it some more to release water, and you'll just drag it across your paper until the water runs clear. Now your brush may be stained, but that won't hurt it. As long as the water is running clear, it is ready to go to your next color. You don't want to do this to clean it, which I have had people do, because you want to keep this brush so that it will form a nice point. And we'll put that right back inside, and we're finished with him. Our next step is going to be to color the feet on this panel, the little seagull feet. So this is the dark Daffodil Delight. And the feet are the only thing we are coloring on this piece. Because what we are doing next, we're going to go ahead and mount this on our red piece. Leave a little border around the outside edges. And then we're going to bring our card base back in. And we've got a piece of that DSP. This is a 2x2 inch square. And we did this in class. All we will do is cut this piece in half. So everybody had a little 2x2 square. And then we will take it, and I like to use glue because the glue is a little more forgiving, so you can move things around a bit. And we're gonna put glue behind that, and we're gonna stick that over here in the center of our card. And then the other side, we're going to do the same thing. We're gonna put the glue on it, and we're going to stick it in the center over here. And you kind of want to try to line those up a bit. But if you don't get them perfect, it really is not going to matter, because the next thing we are going to do is put this on our card base. So we're just seeing a little bit of that peek out. And we are going to put this piece on with dimensionals. So I'm using the edges of my dimensionals. Nothing goes to waste on our dimensionals. And maybe one in the center. And this is ready to go on our card. And this will just get centered on the card. And now we have this little piece that we will put some dimensional behind. And we will add that to the card. I like to make it look like he's yelling, "Hey, friend." So we'll put it over there. Now, this piece that we did all the stamping on, the other birds that we stamped them without their feet, we're going to color. And we're going to color the French fries the same way. We've got the Real Red Box, the Wild Wheat Fish Burger, and the Light Daffodil Delight. Then we will take our light Misty Moonlight. We're going to color that stripe down the wings. We're going to take our light Smoky Slate and we're going to color their little wing tips just to give that a little more definition. Their beaks are going to be the same color that the feet were, so that is the dark Daffodil Delight. And the French fries, again, are going to be the light Daffodil Delight. Now, you will color all three of these birds, but I'm just showing you the one, because then you'll take these and you'll fussy cut them out. So you'll fussy cut them and you will have 3 little birds without feet and a box of French fries. I took my dimensional pieces, the edges of my dimensionals, and I just put a little piece behind each one of the birds. And then these are going to be stuck over the ones that are on the card. So they're going to be basically just popped up right over the ones that we stamped. And that's where we're going to get their little feet. So who wants to fussy cut out those little feet? Not me. So that's why we did it this way. We had to stamp it twice so that we would have the feet on the base card. And then the only other thing to do is add these little French fries. I'm going to put them there spilled all over the ground down there. And there's our card. Hey, friend, I love you more than French fries. So I hope you've enjoyed this project. If you have any questions, you can reach me at bluegrassstamper@gmail.com. If you'd like to see more of my projects, my website is www.bluegrassstamper.com. If you're over there on the website, a little blue button will pop up for a free tutorial. If you put your name and email address in, you'll be on my email list. I'll add you and you'll get a free tutorial every week. So thank you for joining me. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. Thanks. Bye.